Hey everyone, I'm excited to share the new Kosas foundation with you. I'll be using the shade Light Neutral 140. Here we go. So the Kosas foundation comes in a glass bottle with a pump. It's medium coverage, natural finish, SPF 25, and available in 36 inclusive shades. And speaking of shades, let me go ahead and throw up some swatches for you. We have the Kosas in Light Neutral 140, the L'Oreal True Match Blendable in Classic Ivory in 2, Revlon Color Stay in Buff 150, and the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation in Light Ivory 140. And then with this second picture here, we're going to switch to sunlight instead of artificial light so you can see it both ways. Now the official name of this foundation is the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. It retails for $42 US and it really has a powerhouse of ingredients like hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides, squalane, vitamin B5, arnica, and caffeine. And I have to tell you, my first impression of it was I could feel it in the foundation. When I first put it on, it just felt so creamy and smooth and hydrating. Now, in addition to having all the good stuff in it, it's a clean brand, so it doesn't contain things like parabens, sulfate, formaldehyde. They have an entire list on their website of what they never put in their cosmetic products. I haven't used anything from this brand before, so I got really interested in reading kind of their mission statement on their website. So not only is it a clean brand, but they formulate everything to work with even the most sensitive of skin. And in addition, every part of this bottle is recyclable except for the pump. Now you'll notice I started out here with just putting some on the back of my hand and then dipping my sponge into it and putting that on my face. But I noticed that the sponge really absorbed a lot of this. So I decided for the next part of my face, of course the forehead, I was going to go in with just my fingers to start and see what kind of coverage I would get with that. Kosas doesn't give a particular application method that they think works best for this. So they just say it works with a sponge, a brush, or your fingers. So I decided I would just kind of do a little bit of everything to show you the difference that I would get in coverage with it. And as you can see here, with the fingers, of course, we're getting way more coverage on the forehead. And then I go in with the sponge and just kind of blend it out because I had just a bit too much on my forehead with that application with my fingers. So at this point in the application process, I was starting to get really excited about this foundation. It's interesting because when you first pump it out, it feels kind of thick, but it's also so creamy and silky that it doesn't feel like an uncomfortable thick, if that makes sense. It's supposed to be a medium coverage, but I found that I could very easily build this one up to, pretty much a full coverage. And as you can see, applying with the fingers and going over it with the sponge really gave it a nice finish. So on my right side, I decided to go in with the Sephora Collection Mini Pro Foundation Brush. I've never used it before, so I wanted to give it a shot. And of course, I'm just going to start out by stippling the foundation onto my skin. This brush was interesting. It's extremely dense, but the bristles themselves don't have any give. I purchased it online, so if I had felt that in the store, I probably wouldn't have gone with that brush, but I just wanted to give it a shot. And as I continue applying here, I just want to ask if you enjoy these foundation videos to please subscribe and give this video a like. I'm very slowly but surely growing the channel, and all the help I can get from you I sure appreciate. After finishing up the initial application with the brush here, I noticed a few brush strokes in it, so I wanted to go back over it again with the sponge and just kind of even it all out. And here we are with one layer of foundation over the face. And I have to say, I was really impressed with this foundation. I like that it kind of had a lit from within glow to it, and I liked the finish and the coverage. I would have been happy, honestly, stopping right there, but I always like to experiment and try to build them up so we can see how they look as a full coverage. So my question for you is, do you guys like medium coverage or full best? I know that I have a few that like a really light coverage on my channel, but I'm curious what level of coverage is the one that you like, because I want to make sure that I'm covering those foundations that you really want to see. So let me know in the comments below. So as you can see here, this is building up beautifully. There was never any point at which it started to get cakey. And here's a look at 2 layers of foundation, and then we'll go in for some close-ups so you can really see it. So as you can see here, I did notice that this foundation does oxidize. So I wanted to go ahead and throw in a clip here of what it looks like when it's fresh, which is right on top, and then the dried swatch. And it took approximately 20 minutes for dry down time. Now that was complete dry down. I was really happy with how this applied on my normal to somewhat dry skin, but I have to say I think this would work for a wide variety of skin types. I also wanted to get one more unbiased opinion about how this looks. Hey Norm, if this foundation looks good, blink one time. I knew it! And finally, I'm going to finish up with some pictures and different types of light here, but I have to give this an A+. This is definitely Foundation Lady and Norm approved. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you for 2 more foundation reviews next week.